talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Card of Demise. A lot of people are calling for the new ban list to happen, and a lot of people feel that the format is stale and figured out, and that there's only these 4 decks, with the Demise decks also cycling in Domain Monarch / Extra Deck Monarch, so Monarchs, Kozmos, Draco Pals, and BAPK. And then you have your Demise decks, which include Kozmos. So people have kind of said that it's cycling into a figured out format. And we have Blue Eyes bursting onto the stream, onto the scene, not the stream, at the same time. So what's really gonna happen here, as we have kind of 5 decks, and people are saying that Kozmo are gonna make Blue Eyes less relevant, but at the same time, Kozmos have been slowly fading out. People have been saying that Kozmos are not one of the best decks, even though they time and time again make top cut, but that they're not as consistent. Monarch beat a lot of their problems. So I saw, actually, being behind a booth at Nationals, the most decks that we bought and dropped early and late were Kozmos. So maybe people are finally giving up on the deck a bit. Now the thing here is, Demise is not unhealthy for the game. You may immediately say, whoa, John, like, that's not okay. But here's the thing that makes Demise not okay is floodgates. And a while back ago, Konami realized this, and we saw the max exodus of floodgates to 1. We have macro at 1. We have skill drain at 1. We have a lot of the things at 1. So the main problem actually is the ability to have 3 rivalries and 3 goes in match in your deck, in my opinion. And slash or most people choose rivalry because it's the more restrictive option. Now, Rivalry seems to be the main problem everybody has. Everybody kind of cites MSTs for it. And then after that, all they really have are battle-based traps for the most part, which are the mirror forces. So Demise actually enables a lot of decks that would no longer be able to play in the game to play. Majespecters would be nowhere on the competitive scene without this card. The same goes for Cleefort. Cleefort would not exist anymore without this card in the competitive formats. In the hands where they do not draw Demise, which they do have a lot of cards to get to, you have your 1 upstart, 3 dualities, and other ways to thin your deck before you draw, and 3 into the voids as well. It just so happens that on the games where they don't draw Card of Demise, they tend not to have much of a fighting chance. And we see this throughout practice game after practice game. So the other thing is we see games where they resolve 2 Card of Demise for full advantage and still lose the game because they didn't get to the proper floodgate or restrictions. And you were able to play around their battle traps because that's what they needed to use, is battle traps to fill the rest of the holes for traps. So this really begs the question of, yes, Card of Demise is a card that turns 1 card into 3, but it restricts your strategy and everything except Kozmo to pretty much play slow for the rest of the game. Whereas, so you're playing back and forth, both players are playing cards, and your entire deck's built that way, and especially in games you don't get to Card of Demise, it's not that good. Counter Faries, for example, need an extremely well set up and hopefully an area on day. And that's why it's teetering on the edge of competitive, but it can't be. And it just doesn't top. We don't see it top. It's so close, but it's not there. And Card of Demise almost brought it that far back. But Cleefort, however, has its own engines to search, get Scout back even when Scout is destroyed, and get Scout out of your deck. And then Scout utilizes the deck. So you have advantages there, and Scout can search the card that gets itself back as well, and climate change. So the question begs, is it Card of Demise that is unhealthy since it makes your strategy have to stick to it and you have to get to Card of Demise? Or is it the floodgates? And the answer simply is, what you are annoyed by when you're playing, and what is very, very powerful, is usually Rivalry, and some of the battle traps do hurt. We've had Mirror Force limited in the game before. Drowning Mirror Force is very powerful, but the problem with Drowning Mirror Force is that all of your tools must be cleared first. I play Pendulums, so I'm a bit biased. Master Pop Scout, and then Master's also a big body, and you know, it's very rare that I'm actually annoyed by the matchups. Majespecter is kind of harder than Cleefort, and Kozmo, of course, one of the hardest once they get going right. 10 cans, set 4, set 5. But it's very rare. Usually they're dumping a ship, they're not getting to their ideal ships. It's very interesting to see the back and forth, and I think fully that, again, the problem, in my opinion, are the floodgates. Now, Kozmo was able to go without floodgates. This is the other part of the argument. Kozmo is the deck that can abuse Demise and keep special summoning and going off later. But we see consistency issues here. They have so many chances with Kozmo Town to Mulligan and other resources given to them, Call the Haunted with dumped hands, that they would be able to get there. But their best tools, in my opinion, their best absolute hands deal with having 2 pilots. And yes, you can even operate normally with a hand that just happened to not have anything there to be able to play a regular Kozmo hand in Demise decks, but it's very rare because you're playing Pot of Duality as well. So, again, in my opinion, the consistency issues are there with that deck. We see that deck struggle. 3, I believe, out of the top 8, what was it? 3 Domain Monarch, 3 BAPK at Nationals. I think it's very obvious that the Demise decks are annoying, so a viable strategy to face, but I don't think they're the problem. I think the floodgate would be the problem. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. What do you hope to see on the ban list? Do you hope to see Rivalry or Demise kind of cut there? And what kind of replacements do you expect to see? I mean, Demise is about to potentially be unhealthy with the Pot of Cupidity. I believe it's a Pot of Desires now. So that could be extra advantage problems. But for now, in this current state of the game, we don't see it winning. And I don't see something that's not winning as the problem. And again, what you truly, in my opinion, are annoyed by are the floodgates.
Be sure to subscribe and also check out the Zodiac Facebook and stream. The links are below. And always feel free to comment and talk about these videos.